Hello, everybody. This is Logan Cisco from Extemp Central bringing you a small preview of the final rounds of IX and USX tomorrow at the 2011 NFL National Tournament. For those that may not be familiar with the time schedule, tomorrow US Extemp kicks off at 9:30 Central Time, so that's 10:30 for our friends on the East Coast. And then International Extemp kicks off at 11 o'clock. If you go to the Extemp Central page, our webmaster Corey Alderdice has already put up a link for watching the NFL final rounds. All you have to do is click NFL Finals on the tab at the very top of the main page, and it will take you to a small box, a window. And if you just click play, it'll show you the live stream of what's taking place in Dallas, Texas. We're very happy that the NFL is doing that for the second consecutive year, and we look forward to providing some coverage. What will happen is after each of those rounds tomorrow, I'll post a small write-up on Extemp Central. Hopefully, I'll be able to do it in between USX and IX. And what I will do is just provide a breakdown for each speaker, what was their question, how they broke it down, maybe what sources they used, what was interesting about it, what I didn't like. And then I'll rank the round at the end just to provide a nice commentary. Omar Qureshi did this last year for his website, and I think that it provides a nice way to accompany that. So I'll bandwagon off of that opportunity like I should have done last year in Kansas City and provide some insight. And then I might record a small video that breaks down the rounds of just some general trends that I saw and that I think are very useful for extempers to pick up on. But that may or may not happen. But you will definitely have the write-ups for the rounds tomorrow. First of all, I'd like to say congratulations to the 12 extempers who are in the respective final rounds of U.S. and international extemp. Navigating through a field of over 200 competitors over 12 rounds is never easy. As I always say, to win an NFL national tournament, you need a lot of skill, but you also need a little bit of luck in terms of the judges you're going to get, the pairings you get from different competitors. We saw a lot of big competitors this weekend already fall, and I think that what's really important for extempers to realize when they go to NFL is that every round matters, especially in out rounds. You've got to go try to get those ones, not just because it's a cumulative tournament, but also just because that's the way the tournament operates. It doesn't matter if you're in there against a national circuit champion or a semifinalist or a finalist from the previous year. You've got to go in there with the attitude that it's either you or them that's going to get out. And you would much prefer, of course, it be you so that you can get all the accolades, the accomplishments, the awards, etc. So that's just some general advice on confronting the NFL national tournament in the future. And one thing I want to point out really quickly before I talk about these rounds is a big shout out to the semifinalists or the finalists that are underclassmen. Shesh Rambachan from Eastview High School, Minnesota, William McDonough from Brophy College Prep in Arizona, Vijay Singh from Bellarmine College Prep in California, and Kelly Wu from Leland High School in California. The last three of those are going to be in U.S. Extemp tomorrow, so 3 underclassmen in the U.S. Extemp final, and then Rambachan will fight on his own for the pride of underclassmen in the final round of international extemp. But what makes that notable is usually underclassmen who make NFL finals will earn a repeat bid to the Montgomery Bell Academy, or earn an initial bid, I should say, to the Montgomery Bell Academy in Tennessee, which is Extemp Round Robin. It's one of the premier events on the circuit. I'm not Adam Johnson. I can't say whether those people will receive bids, but that's usually a customary offer that's extended to the finalists that are underclassmen at NFL. And of course, that does dry up some bids from people that are looking to fight their way into the tournament on the national circuit next year. But congratulations to those underclassmen. It's always a major accomplishment. Going into tomorrow, I think it's important to tell those in the final and those that might be in the final in future years that are watching this that when you're in the final round, some of the tournament's already decided. All the ranks from round 7 through 12 do matter, and everybody has a cumulative score going in. However, there are 11 ranks that you receive in the final round that count. There's 13 judges, the high and the lower drop, and then you get 11 that count. That's 4 more than existed during my time when there were 9 judges and then you had 7 scores. So there's 4 additional scores that are added. And people who have gone into the final round with large leads in the past have lost them. Dan Roush lost his against Spencer Rockwell in 2006 in the final round of IX. And then David Kumbrock almost lost the championship in Wichita. He held on by 1 rank, but he didn't have a very good final round, and everything just kind of snowballed from there. So even if you're in the lead, you cannot afford to have a very poor final round these days because of the emphasis that's placed on the final round. Personally, I would prefer NFL to consider going to a model where whoever wins the final round either wins the championship or just turning the final into an exhibition round, because I think that there are some differences between doing a speech on a huge stage, whereas the other rounds have just happened, in this case, in hotel rooms. And I'm not necessarily convinced it's a good idea. But people disagree with me on that, and that's fine. Looking ahead, NFL in the final rounds, everybody going into the tournament, regardless of where they are seated in the tournament, is still fighting for something in these final rounds. If you go in fifth place, sixth place, whatever, you can still walk away with a final round national championship. So those that are going into the round tomorrow, or those that may go into future rounds, keep in mind it doesn't really matter how rounds 7 through 12 have gotten. You've gotten into the final round. Throw everything you got out there, be comfortable with yourself, and have fun. That's the number one thing. Everybody's always stressed out about this round. I was. It's being videotaped. It's in front of a large number of people. People are watching online now. But you just have to be relaxed. The people that have fun up there and look like they're having fun up there have a much better opportunity to place high in the final round. It's the people that overthink it, overstress it, and try to do too much that never do very well at NFL. And the other trap that I will caution people going into tomorrow, don't turn the final round into stand-up comedy. Too many people get caught up in, I'm on a big stage, I've got to make people laugh and keep them laughing. No, you don't. If you look at last year's finals, there weren't necessarily a ton of people that made people laugh that placed high. They may have had a great AGD, don't get me wrong, but they didn't necessarily act like stand-up comedians to get into the top 2 or so in the tournament. So that's just something to keep in mind for these rounds. Now, just looking at some basic storylines when we look at the Saturday 6 and those that are in the final. If you look at international extemp, the big storyline, of course, is Dylan Slinger wins. He becomes the first person in NFL history to win U.S. and international extemp final rounds, if he wins the final round, that is. If he wins IX tomorrow, just the general category, regardless of the final round, he would become the third extemper in history to win the double crown of CFL and NFL. And they'd be the third since 2005. Kevin Troy was the first. Akshar Ramachan did it in 08, and now Dylan Slinger has the opportunity to do so. All of them have come from Minnesota. The other interesting scenario in this final round is Curran Mayer from Scarsdale. If he wins, it's the second title that Scarsdale's ever won in international extent. But by winning, he may move himself into second in this year's points race, or he at least locks up third place. So there's something on the line for him as far as winning a national points race trophy. And then, of course, one of the more interesting ones is Ashesh Ramachan. He's a sophomore. He was a freshman in the semifinals last year. He placed 14th then. He's been a big rival to Dylan Slinger in Minnesota. And if Ramachan were to win tomorrow, and one of our people that we polled as far as old extempers picked Ramachan to win IX, is that if he does win, he becomes the third member of the Ramachan family to win an international extemp championship. His sister Ashana won one in 2004. His brother Akshar won one in 2008. And now Ashesh has an opportunity to do that as well. But, you know, let's keep into consideration that even if he doesn't win, he's still got his junior and senior year to accomplish that. So just major props to the sophomore for making the final round. Ben Maybe going in from James Logan, another nice accomplishment for him I'd like to bring up real fast. He becomes the other person besides Slinger this year to make the CFL and NFL final rounds. And even if he doesn't win, that's still a great accomplishment to make the final rounds of two very diametrically opposed and very different national tournaments over the course of 1 year. So major props to Ben Maybe for making that. And then, of course, Illinois and Ohio have some entries, Millet Maida and Grace Pio. But the thing is that, and I want to say this about Grace, is that she's the only Ohio entry in the final, but Ohio did a fantastic job getting people to semifinals this year. And so props to the state of Ohio. Y'all did fantastic. And it's not to say that either one of them can't win. I just don't know enough to talk about them. So good luck to everybody in the IX final. The US Extemp final, which will kick off tomorrow at 9:30 Central. The big storyline out of there, I think, is twofold. Number one, you've got Jared Adeski, who's got the opportunity to become the first Nova High School extemper in history to win an extemp championship. Nova's big extemper when I was going through was Ronnie Yaird. She was the first female extemper to win the Barkley Forum. She was in 2 consecutive IX final rounds, but she wasn't able to crack the top 3. And this is a good opportunity. This could be the time for Nova to move through. Jared did very well this year at the Montgomery Bell Extemp round robin. He's been continually in the top of the national points race this year, and I think he's got a great opportunity. Florida State champion, he's got a great shot. And then Kevin Yee, somebody that I don't think people have talked enough about this year. I said in the 6-question preview that Kevin Yee could become California's best opportunity to win a national championship, and that still may be the case. I mean, Ben Maybe's over there in IX. Kevin's over there, and he's got Vijay Singh and Kelly Wu from California also with him to see if California can walk away with its 3rd title in a row at NFL. And overall, it'll just be a very interesting experience. I mean, Bellarmine College Prep with Vijay Singh, if Vijay Singh were to win US Extemp tomorrow, Be the third consecutive year that Bellarmine College Prep has walked away with the national championship in Extemp and NFL. Evan Larson did it in '09. Jacob Baker did it last year. Maybe VJ Singh, maybe this is his time to go win a championship. And if not, position himself to win a championship next year. Peter Vogel, another competitor that's placed high in national circuit this year. He's 8th in the national points race. A victory by him might get him into the top 3. There's just a lot of interesting storylines in terms of the final round here of what could happen. But it's a very West Coast dominated U.S. Extemp final. Jared Odeski and Peter Vogel have to represent the East Coast. Odeski is the only Southern Extemper in there. And McDonald is or not McDonald, excuse me, but Vogel is the only extemper from the Northeast. And at a time when the Northeast was kind of dominating the extemp circuit years ago, it's a profound shift. But Ridge High School has done a nice job. Vogel's getting points for his team in the national team points race, and we'll see how everything stacks up. On the national points race, everybody knows Nathaniel Donahue has clinched the national points race, even though I know he's disappointed going out in quarterfinals. He's still going to walk away with the national points race trophy. So there'll be maneuvering tomorrow among Slinger and Maida and Vogel and Odeski and Kevin Yee. And some of these guys are already ranked in the points race to move up in the national points race. We will have the national points race points computed, assuming, of course, NFL puts out its tab sheet. We'll have that up Monday on the site, hopefully, and I think that we'll be able to do that. And we'll also have the extemporaneous Tournament of Champions qual board updated to reflect all the results of NFL as well as the recent results we've received from North Dakota State Tournament. So we'll post those, get those up on Monday, and then we'll kind of shut down for the year, and we'll wait till the season kicks back up on August 1st to get content back up on the website. Once again, we appreciate everybody's support this year. Extemp Central, we've gotten more views this year than ever before. And anytime you have any insights into comments or things that you'd like to see on the site, hit us up. We'd be happy to have ideas and explore ideas. Next year, there will be some changes in the national points race. New tournaments are being looked at. Look to see the second tier will be expanded. The third tier will see an adjustment. The fourth tier will see an adjustment. There's going to be an expansion of the fifth tier. We're going to put more tournaments in. There's going to be more opportunities to earn points. And we're going to be a little more fair to our friends on the West Coast that have, as NFL demonstrates, have some substantial skills that need to be taken into consideration. So I wish everybody in the final round tomorrow the best of luck. I think that all 12 of you are very deserving extempers, and I think that all of you are going to put on some great final round performances tomorrow. Once again, if you're watching this and you're part of those 12, don't stress out about it. Have fun, especially if you're a senior. It's the last speech you're ever going to give, and the basic advice I always give everybody in a high-stress round is it's just Extemp. The structure doesn't change. It's still 7 minutes. You get 30 minutes prep. There's some CX, but you've already done it in semis to get to this point. So have fun. The judges can tell when you're having fun. The people can tell when you're having fun. And you'll look a lot better on tape if you look like you're having fun. So once again, this is Logan Cisco from Extemp Central. We'll have coverage tomorrow. Watch the NFL final rounds. USX kicks off 9:30 Central Time. IX follows at 11. And we'll have coverage right here on Extemp Central. So till next time, keep following the site, and good luck to those competing this year in the final rounds in NFL and those watching and those who will be in the final rounds in future years.